I was excited to be able to be invited here because I love being of service and helping people in manifesting their goals, especially. And I like to have the approach of kind of presenting the metaphysical mechanics of the mind and how it works so that you can understand how you work and your mind works so that you can work with yourself better to overcome different obstacles, to break through and achieve your goals. So really, I'm just going to kind of talk about how what we're doing here today is going to change, naturally just change your mind and how you can then work with the vision board going forward, you know, on more than just once you get done putting the pieces, you know, onto the paper, putting the images on the paper. So one thing I really liked, honestly, was this right here, make it happen. Because everything in our life, that's what we got to do. We got to make it happen. Nothing's going to happen for us. Nobody's going to magically do anything for us. We have to do it ourselves. You know what I mean? And so just like, you know, you all had to come here, you know, we had to take action. And so to make it happen is all through the actions that we take and to formulate our lives and what comes about through our lives. You know, what ends up happening for us, we have to take action on it. So a lot of some of what I talk about isn't really going to be too new for you because we all understand exactly what I said. You know, taking action on things is how we make things happen in our life. But then what determines our actions is our mental attitudes, you know, how you see things. You know, if just because you go and do something doesn't mean you're going to be doing it right, even though you may take the right steps. If your attitude isn't really there, then there's not much energy behind what you're doing. You know, like with, you know, like some of the people here are realtors. You know, if you go and show a client a house and your attitude ain't right, ain't much gonna come out of it. But you can show them a house they might not even be interested in or wouldn't have been interested in. But if your attitude is different, then all of a sudden they see things in the house they might not have seen before. You know, in everybody's life, those who ain't realtors, you can look at your job, your family, everything, the attitude you bring to it is gonna change it. And so then we wanna look at, if we wanna change our attitude to get better at changing our attitudes, to be able to better change our actions, then we have to look at what formulates our attitudes, which is our beliefs. You know what I mean? Our beliefs in things is going to change our attitude. If I believe that something might come from this, then I'm gonna more easily put more energy into it. You know, and so if I don't believe it, then my attitude's not really gonna be in it. I'm just gonna go through the motions and just see what happens. Okay, I'll put the pictures on here because, you know, Steve said it, you know what I mean? Some friends said it, so let me see if it works for me. But if you don't really have a lot of attitude in it, then you're not really gonna put much into it. And so you're not really gonna take much action towards it. You know, like it's what, the 17th of January? Yesterday was the second Friday of January. That's officially known as Quitter's Day because everybody has New Year's resolutions and we all have things that we wanna start. You know, I tell people all the time, your New Year's resolutions need to start Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? That way by the time New Year's come, you already gotta run and start. But most people wanna wait until January. But January isn't a magical day. You know what I mean? The time is an illusion. You only have the ever-evolving present moment. You know what I mean? So in this moment, whatever moment it is, whether it's Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, or right now, only in the present moment can you make any change within your life or within yourself. You know, and your outer environment is a direct reflection of your inner environment. So that's why I like to talk about what's going on internally and things that we can work differently with ourselves internally so that our external can portray that same change. So as far as like Quitter's Day, what I was talking about, it's because on January 1st, everybody has a lot of energy. Their attitude is there, but it takes time to see changes produced out in the physical, you know? So by 2 weeks in, they done put a lot of effort. The people who even made it that far, you know, put a lot of effort into seeing changes, but they just didn't give it enough time for the changes to show and reflect to be able to visibly see it. And so then it's like, oh, nothing's really happening. My attitude's now changing. And so then my actions are now gonna change, you know? And so the key there, which I'll get into a little later, is, you know, your concentration, being able to hold focus on it, and your willpower. But I mostly just want to talk about like how the attitudes will have an effect there, because how we understand our attitudes better is our beliefs, like I was saying. And so what is a belief? You know, we all kind of understand when we talk about beliefs, we mostly think about like spiritual beliefs or things like that. But really, you have beliefs about everything. What you believe about just one individual person, what you believe this job may do for you, what you believe putting your money in this bank versus this bank, you know, what you believe about your family. You know, you have beliefs along anything in your life. And so a belief is just a thought that you continue to think. So then if we want to change our actions and our attitudes and ultimately change our beliefs to change those, then we have to change our thoughts. And that's what we're really working with here. Because what is a thought truly? You know, a lot of us might think we understand what a thought is because we think all the time, but in reality, a thought is just an image. Like right now, everybody think of a balloon. Now, what color let me know what color the balloon was you thought of. Red. Most people say red. Yellow. Yeah. So because you saw an image in your mind. So a thought is an image. And that's what we're working with here. That's why we're using images to help remind us of the thoughts that we're trying to create for ourselves. Because our thoughts create our reality through our thoughts shaping our beliefs, because a belief is just a thought that you continue to think. What thoughts do you produce the most? You know what I mean? I used to have a very strong thought back in the day. I mean, I still struggle with it, but a very strong thought that was unconscious. I wasn't aware of it. It was very habitual of I need more money. You know what I mean? I get a bill and like Miss Teresa said, I don't like checking the mailbox because this bill's gonna be in there. And every time I open it, I'm gonna have a thought, I need more money. That's what happened to me. I need more money. You know what I mean? I get a check, I get my check. This ain't enough, I need more money. You know what I mean? I go to the grocery store, it's like, I'm only focused on my list of what I'm getting because everything else, I need more money for that. You know what I mean? I'm you know, when I was young, around the time when this happened, you know, meet a lady or something. Hey, where you want to? I'm gonna take you out. Where you want to go? I'm gonna go to Ruth Chris. Damn, I need more money. You know what I mean? Everything in life, I was shaped. My whole life was shaped by that belief because it was so strong. You know what I mean? I need more money. I need more money. So if that's the thought that I was continuing to think, then that's the belief that I had about myself. I need more money. And so if that's then that's going to formulate the attitude I have. Everything I approached in life, I need more money. To where my actions were, I need more money. I can't even focus on abundance because I'm out here chasing something and not even able to focus on what that would produce for me. You know what I mean? Ignoring my family, ignoring my friends because I'm chasing money because I need more money. I don't need more friends. I don't need more family. I need more money. You know what I mean? And so your thoughts are going to shape your reality. And so if we want to change things in ourselves, we first have to change our thoughts because that's what's at the root. If I only focus on changing my actions, then it's not going to be productive. It's like if you see a weed in a garden and you just snatch the weed up. It'll look good. The garden will look good because you got all the weeds out, but give it 3-4 weeks, the weed's going to come back because you didn't get the root. So when we change our thoughts, then that's how we're going to change the root. And that's kind of really the metaphysical mechanics of what we're doing today. But then it then shifts into how do we then do that? And so that's where we're going to use the vision boards as a tool. That's a tool for you to shape out the thoughts that you want to have. You know what I mean? I want to see this. I want a life like this. Like, Chris, bring up your vision board for me real quick. This is a great example of a vision board. Steve had a couple on his thing. But I mean, it can be completely covered like this. It can be, very nice and organized and neat, however you want to put it. But you're putting the images of what you want. You know what I mean? He got him and his wife's hand and some passports. You know what I mean? He got him and this little girl dancing, this family over here, a house for sale, some traveling bags, some savings, money, $3 million. You know what I mean? And so these are images, but these pieces of paper have no power. But it's what these pieces of paper do for your mind. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I touched on it a little bit earlier. The two keys to success that I like to focus on is concentration and willpower. You know what I mean? Concentration is your ability to control your attention. Especially in our society right now, it's very rampant to have no control over your attention. ADD, ADHD, especially the kids. But I mean, especially even our age, we still grew up with TV to where we being programmed so much to, we're watching a show and then commercial, watching a show, commercial. When you was in school, you go to this class, go to this class, go to this class, go to this class, go home, do this homework. You know what I mean? Go to this class, go to this class. And so our attention is always being controlled for us. And so we have no control over our attention. And so energy flows where the attention goes. So the more I give my attention to what I do want in life, then the more I can feed energy into that. And the more I can focus my mind on those thoughts, those images within my mind. Like, how do we create images in our mind? Does anybody, just throw a guess. It don't gotta be right. Thinking. Yeah, we're both thinking, but like what way of thinking? Our imagination, right? That's your ability to create images. You know what I mean? Like, Steve threw out 2 scriptures. I'm gonna throw out a third one for you. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So exactly what I'm saying, your thoughts creating your reality is in the scriptures even. You know what I mean? As we're made in the image and likeness of the creator. So we must be creators as well. And your imagination is your ability to create these images. So that is your key resource in creating your thoughts that are going to determine your beliefs, that are going to determine your attitudes, that are going to determine your actions, that are going to determine what you produce for yourself out in this physical reality. So if our imagination is the source of that creation, just as concentration is your ability to control your attention, visualization is your ability to control your imagination. Because daydreaming isn't visualization. Daydreaming is letting the imagination create the images that it wants. You know what I mean? Like anybody here ever been driving down the highway and they didn't choose it, but were imagining, you know, if a tire popped off or if their car swerved, like, man, why am I picturing this? You know, your imagination is creating images on its own. Visualization is where you are controlling it. Like I asked everybody, think of a balloon. You told your imagination to create this balloon. Like right now, everybody think of a flower. Okay, your mind did kind of formulate a flower in your mind. Make it a rose, a red rose. Now let's make it a white rose. Let's see a green stem with 2 green leaves off the side. Everybody see that in their mind? So you told your imagination what image you wanted to produce for yourself. So all of us here, I mean, unless anybody raised their hand if they couldn't do it. No, you had trouble? Yeah. No, I understand. What were you able to image?
Not collecting my rent.
Not collecting my rent. Okay. But so that's where the attention comes in. Like you might have started here, but your attention was called off over to something important. You know what I mean? I got to go collect this rent from these folks because these free drinks only last tonight. But so it's a matter like, so then the concentration is controlling your attention, realizing I'm distracted. Let me bring my attention back. So then bring it back to the white rose. You know what I mean? And so whenever you do that, you can kind of still see the white rose in your mind. Okay. So we all are able to control our imagination to some degree. And so that's what this vision board is going to help you to do, is to create, to determine what images you create in your mind. So concentration is the one key to success that I want to talk about in controlling your attention. And so any disbelief or doubt, those are also distractions. If you don't believe you can do it, that's a distraction. That's your attention being called. You didn't choose to think this thought. You're being distracted by this thought based on a different belief. I don't believe in myself. Oh, wait. I'm getting distracted. Let me bring my attention back to what I really want. You know what I mean? Oh man, you know, something came up and I did finally save up $8,000, but my car just got totaled. My insurance lapsed or something for some reason. Now I got to spend that $8,000. Man, I'm never going to get this. Wait a second, I'm distracted. Let me bring my attention back. You know what I mean? So concentration. You gotta, and anybody can practice concentration. Concentration, visualization, these are just mental muscles, just like your physical muscles. You know what I mean? Like this brother over here, I wouldn't mess with him. He came in solid. But you didn't start out with those, right? It took time and effort, right? Daily, consistent discipline. And any of us can find ways in our life where we produce things like that, but the mind is the same way. The mental muscles of the mind are the same way. Concentration and visualization are just muscles that if you produce daily discipline on these, they will strengthen. Same with memory. You know what I mean? If you have a bad memory, just Google a memory exercise. You know what I mean? And it'll put in there, you just practice it. Whatever it is, whatever it produces for you, just practice it every single day. Whatever it tells you to do, practice every single day. You'll see the results. Give yourself 90 days. You know what I mean? And just see what the results are. But the same thing with concentration and visualization. If this is a practice that we'll be doing for visualization, you can also strengthen concentration through doing this, but those are things that you can just naturally build, even if you feel you're not very strong with concentration or visualization, you know, or memory, which we're not really talking too much about today. So with that, that's the first key, is the concentration. The other is the willpower, because it's one thing to be able to bring my attention to what I do want in my life, bring my attention to the thoughts of what I do want to produce for myself. It's another to be able to hold your attention there. Like you say, his name was Charles? George. Yeah, like Mr. George said, I started to visualize the white rose. Then I thought about the rent I got to go collect. It's the 17th. Some folks is a little late. They need some reminders, And so it's about the willpower of not just putting your attention where you want it, but holding it there. You know what I mean? And so willpower, the definition of willpower is making a conscious choice and following through with it with consistent and unceasing action until your ideal is achieved. So that's what we're putting down on this board is our ideal life in every aspect: family, career, money, home, happiness, success. And so willpower is going to be taking unceasing, continuous, relentless action until we achieve that. And so by combining the attention, holding your attention on what you want, making a conscious choice that that's what you want, and then adding in the willpower of unceasing, relentless action until we make it there, that's going to be your keys to success. So with the vision board, we're putting down the images of what we do want, because the mind only thinks in positive images. Like if you sit there and think, I don't want to be late, to something, the only image you can see in your mind is being late, right? That's what that is. So the subconscious mind is what produces it not only is in charge of your parasympathetic system, like your breathing, your blood flow and things, but it's also in charge of producing these thoughts into your mind, because your subconscious mind is where these unconscious thoughts are formed or are held, where the habits and beliefs are formed. And so its whole job and duty is to manifest these thoughts that we have in our mind. But we have to ensure that the thoughts of what we do want outweigh and outpower the thoughts of what we don't want. Because like I said, I used to have I need more money. I need more money. So, one thing I did was like just create an affirmation in my mind. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I have more than I need. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I have more than I need. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I have more than I need. I may have unconsciously thought I need more money 1,000 times a day. I didn't really know. I know you have 80,000 thoughts on average in a day. I don't really know how many that was, but I was like, I'm going to say this one 5,000 times a day, nonstop. I did it for after about 2 weeks. I'm falling asleep saying it. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous. I'm waking up. Y'all wake up with a song just already playing in your head. It was like that. I'd wake up. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I deserve everything I desire. I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I deserve everything I desire. And so that's going into a little bit of something else. But we have to think these new thoughts of what we do want more than the limiting beliefs that hold us back. And so when you're putting down your vision board, that's what these are going to represent. It's not that it's this exact image. It's what do each of these images produce within your mind? What image is created within your mind when you think this? Like he has fit up here. What does fit mean? Fit might mean something different for each of us. You know what I mean? Fit gonna mean something different for me than it is for him or her. You know what I mean? And so what is the image that it produces in your mind? Just sold right here. It's gonna produce something in your mind. Success is different for everybody. So what does that really mean for you in your mind? So as you're picking out your images, try as best you can to be as clear as possible in what that image right there represents for you, so that you're infusing that energy into this image, so that every time you bring your attention back to it, you're able to pull that up in your mind, so that what fit means, what success means, what happiness means. The traveling, like the passports. Where's the first place you want to go? Picture that. You know what I mean? See that. See yourself on the beach, or you don't even have to do that. See yourself having the conversation afterwards, telling your friends about the trip, telling your family about the trip. What images? These aren't just like still images you want to create. You want to fully immerse yourself in it, because we don't experience life just through our sight. We experience life through all of our senses. So when you're creating these images within your mind that the images on the paper produce, you want to make sure that you're using all of your senses. Not only what does it look like, but what sounds do you hear? What smells do you smell? What does it feel like? What emotions do you feel when this is produced? And that's going to cause you to fully immerse yourself into these images. Then it's a more full image than just the visual. but we're going to use these visual images on the paper to help us produce that. So that's what I would suggest doing for anybody. Similar to what he said with that full list, is take this every single morning and every single night, and on your vision board, start your day with it and end your day with it. And look at every single image and give it time to create that image in your mind. It might take you, especially if you've got this many images, it might take you 20 minutes. But that's 20 minutes invested into yourself every morning and every night. Every morning and every night. He said a year. I'd tell people to document at least 90 days. That way you can kind of build some success consciousness. Okay, I've already produced so much in my life since January 17. It's already March, and I like you said, I got 5 things already moving on this. I already sold 3 houses since then that I didn't even see happening on top of what I've already done. So that's what I would suggest doing with this, is making sure you're putting in the action every single day, being disciplined, being focused and concentrated on it, and using your willpower to continue to be disciplined and making it happen every day.